You all are requested to invite your teammates as well in this meeting, as after this session of our guest speaker, which will start in just 2 or 3 minutes, we will be having the competition in which you need to pitch with your team. So invite your team members as well. Amritanshu, can you confirm is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Kindly wait for 2 or 3 more minutes. Till then, you can ask your friends to join the meeting. As after this interactive session with Mr. Akib Hussain, you will have a competition about the pitch, which has a prize money of 6,000 to be obviously won by all of you. Ask your teammates to join the meeting.
Hi, Sarvesh.
Sir,
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Apologies for being late here, but I had a meeting that kind of got extended. Yeah.
Okay, no problem, sir. So, participants, here is Mr. Akib Hussain, the CEO and founder of Free Flow. And over to you, Mr. Akib, sir.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Pleasure seeing you all here. About 49, 48 odd people other than me. I should not be counting myself. Just a very quick question. The intros and everything can wait, or possibly you have already been shared, whatever this is about. I kind of read the model and the invite for this particular speaker invite that I had, and it had this very interesting title called "My Story: Motivational Session by Successful Entrepreneurs." First things first, I'm not successful. If I would have been successful, I would not have had the time, or if I would have had the time, I would have had it for something much more detailed with you people. By the end of it, do remind me. I need to talk to you about somebody called Mahendra Singh Dhoni and something called failure as a service. A lot of you might have heard of cloud infrastructure as a service and platform as a service in cloud computing. I'll introduce you to something called failure as a service. But usse pehle, just wanted to clear it out. Some of you could unmute yourself or on the chat itself, because we are on Google Meet, so it's always better. Just tell me if Hindi and English both work, because I kind of dabble between both the languages. If it works with all of you, then it kind of makes my life a little easier. So everybody who is here with different kinds of, I think roll numbers or something of that sort, IT B016, B092, and that's kind of a confusion. So I see a few names also: Ankita, Joydeep, Sarvesh, Sarvesh Kumar also, Velupala. Now, if you could just tell me on the chat if Hindi and English both are okay with all of you, quickly.
Yes, sir. Both are okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Anurag. Thank you, Sharnadi. Thank you, Prince. हाँ, हो गया. मिल गया. अरे सही है. रुक जाओ. ऋतिक तुम आखिरी हो. Yes वाले. ठीक है. Thank you. So the only reason that I asked you this was because I kind of keep dabbling between the two languages. So I just did not want to sound a little alien to somebody. Entrepreneurship, okay? In the last 2.5 years, I've been to somewhere around 230 plus campuses in India, 230 plus engineering, management, non-engineering, non-science colleges of the country, universities. And I've asked this question to all of them. What is the first sense, first word, first phrase, first emotion that comes to your mind when I throw the word entrepreneurship at you? What is it that comes to your mind? You can just keep on putting it on the chat or unmute yourself, however you feel comfortable. But what is the first word, first emotion जो आपके दिमाग में आता है जब कोई आपकी तरफ फेंकता है entrepreneurship या startup या सारे funky सारे words? मोदी जी जब फेंकते हैं आत्मनिर्भर भारत and ये सारी चीजें. So what is the first thing? TVF pictures. Vaswanath was closest to his heart. He was like, भैया और कुछ आता नहीं दिमाग में, TVS पिक्चर्स आता है. इनोवेटिव कंपनी, समथिंग इनोवेटिव, इनोवेशन, खुद का धंधा बनाओ और चलाओ. नीरज तुमसे बात करनी होगी फिर से. नयोनिका सेड हार्ड वर्क. प्रिंस सेड स्टार्ट अ कंपनी. मलेदा भवन, सॉरी यहाँ पे जो भी नाम दिखा रहा मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ. आई माइट बी रॉन्ग ऑन योर नेम, सो डोंट टेक इट अदरवाइज. टू एग्जीक्यूट इनोवेटिव आइडियाज, and somebody might just go ahead solving world problems. Okay, I'll take 2-3 more. Freedom, start a company, Bhashpati. Okay, anything else? CEO, Disha, the first word that comes to your mind is CEO. Okay, provide solutions. Anurag is FANG. नहीं यार, FANG नहीं आता दिमाग में. Facebook, Apple से क्या लेना देना है इसका? Netflix, Google से क्या लेना देना है इसका? Revolution. Okay, Kulin. One last word, one last feeling, one last sense, one last emotion, if I can get from all of you. Anybody? Creating a system for money. Sonu ji, aap Bihar se honge. With all due respect. Hardship. Okay. Solving problems that others can't solve on their own. Okay. Thank you. Adesh, ruk jao yaar. Aap aakhri answer ho. Own business. तो ये जैसे मैंने बताया, I've asked this question in more than 20 to 200 odd colleges. I had an edutech myself. I was running it, sold part of it to Byjus, sold part of it to Google, have worked for Google before, have worked for IBM, have worked for choti moti or IT companies called Facebook as an intern and stuff like that. So kind of know a thing or two about this stuff. And I kind of went across all campuses, asked them this question, and answers aap jaise hi the. To do something for society, to have freedom, be your own boss, create a system for money. Aise IIT Kharagpur, which happens to be partly my alumnus, or I am an alumnus of partly. Ek banda wahan khada hota hai, and when I ask him this question, he stands up and tells me, "Bhaiya jugaad. If I know how to set a jugaad and if I know how to sustain a jugaad, then I would have the best entrepreneurship journey that's possible." So इस तरह के answers मिले हैं, जो सारे answers आप बोल रहे हो, and most probably आप लोग first, second years, first semesters, third semester students होंगे. Sarvesh, primarily कौन-कौन से semesters हैं यहाँ पे? First semesters?
Yeah, first semester and third semester, and professors are also
okay,
there.
Sorry. Professors, please mind my casualness with the students, but it kind of maintains the candidness that I can maintain with them. So
okay, Akib, we should welcome you first. And this is Professor Konika Bhattacharya here, myself, the Vice President of this IIC, and other faculty members are also there. So I was listening to your talk and just for a few minutes. So welcome to this session. And you are quite invigorating. Your talk is very invigorating.
I hope it continues to be so. Okay.
Yeah.
So the question remains, why did I ask this question in the first place, and what kind of answers did I get? The answers were very similar to what you people are answering. कुछ को अपने बॉस बनना था, कुछ ने यूनिकॉर्न बनना था, कुछ को योर स्टोरी में अपनी स्टोरी चाहिए थी, कुछ को प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने थे, कुछ को सोसाइटी चेंज करनी थी. बड़ी बातें, अच्छी बातें. None of this are wrong and none of this are complete or incomplete in any sense of imagination. But what I was looking out for when I used to ask this question, I kind of got by around only 1 to 1.5% of the number of students that I hit. And those number of students would be above 1.5 to 2 lakh students in the last 2.5 years. If I tell you that I have one word for all of this, and it can connect most of the answers that you have actually given, then possibly that word has to be a very strong or a very well thought out or a very intellectual word, if I'm not wrong. Unfortunately, it's not that difficult to understand that word, but as Indians, we do not think about that word उतना. हमारे अंदर एक छोटा सा लिमिटेशन है जहां हम उस बारे में सबसे आखिरी सोचते हैं, जो कि फंडामेंटल है इस पूरे थॉट प्रोसेस ऑफ एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के साथ. That one word that I've always been looking out for when I've asked this question to young people like you, young innovators like you, young engineers like you, young market students like you, is people. Now, why do I say people? People तो बहुत ही simple सा word है. लोग, हिंदी में लोग, जनता, people, क्यों इतना important word है? Because this is one word which kind of connects each one of the other terms that you are using, and I kind of can connect each one of the answers that you have given me on the chat window very simply by using this one word. Because as an entrepreneur or as a startup, you have the eye for a people's problem. And when you have an eye for a people's problem, you do not envision it alone. You envision it with a group of people who you call your team. When you do it with a team, you develop a people-based solution, and you take it to them for their critique, for their appreciation, for their rejection, for their money, for their approval. And when they say good, bad, ugly things about the product, you take it back to your set of people to create the solutions for the market, to create a system for money, to create or solve problems that can't be solved on their own or have not been solved by the governments, by the administrations, by the various entities that exist. to essentially impact a certain part of the mankind, if I can use Shwarnadeep's answer, to eventually look like somebody who's thinking of something beyond himself or herself, and then take it back to people to arrive at more people by the recommendation that people give about that product. So agar notice karoge, if we can possibly align people to our mission, then we align everything else in continuation. Having an eye for the people problem will eventually connect the people-based issues. It will eventually connect to the acceptabilities of people to solutions, will eventually connect the solutions to a model, and will eventually connect the model to a successful CEO, a pitcher, an innovator, and the dhanda that we are talking about. Because the time that we stop thinking about people is the time that we become immune to innovating for the good. Is the time that we kind of stagnate with an idea. Is the time that we stagnate with ourselves. We kind of become enough in our own head कि हमने कर लिया भाई achieve जो हमने achieve करना था. यही करने निकले थे और ये हमने achieve कर लिया. That is not how startups and entrepreneurs make it big. And unfortunately or fortunately, there's a very small skew between just being a startup and being somebody who actually impacted with his or her solution. And the difference between the two is people. Now, why do I ask all of this, or why am I sharing all of this? Because that's the story. If I cannot think about people, and if I still do not think about people, then there's no point for myself to be called as an entrepreneur. Because at the end of the day, the entrepreneur is defined by who he's entrepreneuring it for. It is for the society. It is for the people who he values. It is for the problems that people face. But in all sake and in all selfish sake, if I may say so, it is for the person he sees in the mirror. And generally that person is us. It is but us who we start with. And a lot of us think कि हम अकेले कर लेंगे यार, इसमें इतनी कौन सी बड़ी बात है. एक आइडिया ही तो है, एक इनोवेशन ही तो है, एक स्किल ही तो सीखना है, और एक स्किल को ही तो कंबाइन करना है eventually. What's the big deal in being an entrepreneur and starting a startup? एक आइडिया है, रजिस्टर करो गवर्नमेंट के साथ, कोई से कोई सब्सिडी होगी, इन्वेस्टमेंट हो जाती होगी, कहानी छप जाती होगी, and that is how things are taken forward. Unfortunately or fortunately, it's not that linear, and it shouldn't be that linear because life isn't that linear. A lot of people ask me, what is the equation of entrepreneurship for you in life? For me, that is equal to life. Because the way you have ebbs and tides in life, the way you have various people who contribute to the good and bad in your life, the way your external variables decide the way you have reached to IIEST, the fact that today you are studying in a campus because of so many variables adding up, is the same way that a business model graduates into something and becomes something big and impactful enough. अगर कुछ याद ना रहे इस कॉन्वर्सेशन में, तो एक चीज याद करके मुझे जरूर याद दिलाना है कि भैया आपको मुझे महेंद्र सिंह धोनी के बारे में बताना है. Because I think all of you know about him or have heard about him. I have a different take on who he is and what impact he had in my own entrepreneurial journey. I have one more question to ask you all of, and this is very specific because I wanted to understand किस mind space में आप लोगों ने campus join किया है या you're continuing in your campuses as of now. What is more important to you, a product or a brand? What do you think about most when you actually buy, or when you actually consume, or when you actually look into different kinds of models, ideas across the earth? What do you think is the most important? Is it product or is it brand? And
Sir,
is product.
Okay,
Product.
so product.
So for the first time, it's a product, but as the time goes on, it becomes bad.
can I share one thing, sir?
You can share a lot of things, but you'll have to speak in consecution because I do not have multi-processing capacities. So Neeraj, please.
Yeah.
Neeraj, go
So
ahead.
sir, for me, I think it's the brand because like अगर आपका brand built रहेगा तो आपको अपना product बेचने में कभी दिक्कत नहीं होगा. For example, अगर आपने अभी Mr. Beast एक यूट्यूबर है जिसने अभी सिर्फ एक बर्गर लॉन्च किया और एक दिन में उसका बर्गर लाइक आई थिंक 10,000 बर्गर्स लाइक खरीदे गए एक घंटे में, क्योंकि उसका ब्रांड इतना बड़ा है. तो आई थिंक ब्रांड मेरे लिए ज्यादा.
एंड ब्रांड बड़ा होने से तुम्हारा मतलब नीरज ये है कि उसके बारे में लोग जानते हैं, That is the concept.
Yes, yes, he has an audience. He has an audience.
The relatability that he has built, or the audience that he has built, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, okay, point taken. Ronak, you were saying something. Ronak Gayan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I was saying that for if we talk about the buyer who is purchasing the product, according to him, we can say that for us buyers, first the product, we should look at the product first, and then if we have some confidence on the brand, we can look at the brand later. So for us, first is the product, and then the brand comes at the second place.
Because you can touch the product first and feel the brand afterwards.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, point taken, Ronak. Vijay, Saif, you had some answers? Vijay or Saif? Saif was saying something, right? Product, yeah. Yeah, Vijay.
Product, sir. We should see product, sir.
प्रोडक्ट सर, ओके सर. देखो सर ना सर, स्लेव आई रिमेन के लिए स्टैंड करता है सर. तो यहाँ मैं आकिब हूँ, आप लोग सबको मैं नाम से बोल रहा हूँ, आप मुझे बिंदास नाम से बोले. बहुत ज्यादा इज्जत देने की दिल करे तो भैया बोल ले, ठीक है. 28 साल उम्र है, ज्यादा बड़ा या आपसे उम्र दराज हूँ नहीं, बट आप लोग बिंदास आकिब बोल लें या सर या भैया बोल लें. सर मत बोले. सर, आई एम नॉट हियर टू स्टार्ट अ कॉलोनी, एंड फॉर श्योर आई एम नॉट बीन नाइटेड बाय द क्वीन. So I do not want to keep you slaves. So slave I remain वाला मॉडल नहीं है. Akib is my name. ठीक है. Anybody else who has a product and a brand का comparison?
So may I say something?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. I think that as a layman, when I go to buying a product, say a new mobile or say a new laptop, I'm a layman and I don't have much knowledge about the technicalities. So I would definitely look into the big companies first, and then I would see to the product. So I think the issue of trust is the better thing. First thing is
Pragya, you're very near to what Neeraj was saying, because the brand already has an audience and already has an aura about the fact that it reflects a certain kind of relatability and it has an audience, hence you choose the brand, right?
Yes, initially, when I don't have much knowledge about the product.
Agree. Disha, you were saying something?
Same thing. Actually, as a girl, we would go for brand, because brand is what we look for.
No, not as a girl, but as human beings, we go for brand generally. But
Actually.
yeah. Don't specify yourself. It goes against the feministic feels that we have. Yeah, Jatin, please.
Yes, sir. I would prefer actually both, like vice versa.
You both.
If I go for brand,
the good of both worlds are not available, Jatin. You need to choose one. This is very convenient. ऐसे नहीं चलेगा. You need to choose one.
So otherwise the product because if the product is good, automatically the brand will rise.
Okay, makes sense. Chalo, I've got a few answers and all of you have reasonable reasons for it. I'll share you two statements. Okay, all of you have mathematical backgrounds. Mathematics had a role to play to bring you to this campus. So I'll share with you two lines and live by these two lines. I have lived by those two lines, and even then I have floundered multiple times. First line is, product is a function of time, and the only thing that is a constant to change is time. All right? Aata hu us line pe wapas. Brand is a function of emotions. And the one thing that has always remained constant in human race is emotions. The fact that you still get angry the same way, you still get happy the same way, you respond to stimuluses in a pattern, and all of that are emotions. Time is a constant. It's changing, but it's a constant in the aspect of how it changes. Product is a function of time. Brand is a function of emotion. And now when I mean brand, I'm not meaning awareness, audience, or understanding of who it is and who is publicizing it or who is advertising it or who is marketing for it. I'm not meaning the noise that is created around a brand. What I'm trying to mean by a brand is the emotion that they want to touch. I will take you back to a product called a product that was given birth in 1978. It kind of became one of the hottest selling brands on earth in 1981. It did in sales between 1986 to 1996, and it re-rose to magnanimity and humongous growth from 2001 till 2020. It was the first $1 trillion company that was ever made. It made a series of products that that human imaginations could have ever thought of. And today you buy that new product from the house of this particular brand as soon as it launches one, because of the simple reason that in 1978 a very idiotic person, according to those times, told that whatever I create will give the user the best feel on user experience. His only objective of creating all the products that he ever created was to give a sense of user experience which is seamless. Whatever it creates, whatever that brand creates, it would always give an ease on utilization, an ease on utility, an ease on how it functions. I hope you all know what brand I'm talking about, and can guess.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
You just don't need to even give me the name of the brand, because that kind of becomes immaterial in this case. But what they were looking at from the first day was creating an emotional appeal of a certain kind. And this emotional appeal was both user-centric and yet universal in its design, universal in its approach, universal in the way it wanted to project it to people, in the way it wanted to showcase it to the section of humanity it was positioning itself as a solution for. That is what I want you people to look into your own sets of ideas, because whenever you think of an idea, it cannot just be what you see just across the road or just across a particular website or just across the opportunity that you see. That is primarily where you start creating Me Too products. You start creating Me Too platforms. हम भी बनाएंगे क्योंकि Flipkart ने बनाया था, हम भी बनाएंगे क्योंकि Ola कर रहा है, हम भी बनाएंगे क्योंकि Oyo successful है, हम भी करेंगे क्योंकि Urban Clap है, हम भी करेंगे because कोई एक X platform है, X product है. ये सुन के और देख के करने की जो impulse आती है ना जल्दी से, ये इसलिए आती है because you're like, the problem is there, they're trying to solve it, but the problem is still not solved, hence I will solve it. You're not looking at the core issue of what you are trying to solve. And if I can be proud of something through the various experiences that I have had, through the crazy decisions that I have taken, through the abuse that I still get from my mother for leaving seven-digit figure paychecks at a certain point of time in life, it has been the reason that I have actually been able to take decisions only on the emotional appeal of the idea that you were designing, because those would remain universal, those would remain acceptable even if the product is falling short, even if the product is not being able to achieve 100% features, which it can never achieve. None of the platforms that you use, none of the products that you use as startups are complete products or complete platforms. They're not going to solve 100% of your problem, but what they're essentially going to do is impact a very important emotion in your life. And if you have not identified that, think about that, because that is essentially going to design, decide, and define what you are eventually going to work on. And that is what I have been able to define till now. It's the only thing that I have clear-cut crystal definitions for, that what were the exact human emotions that you were trying to hit, what were the exact contexts that were universal enough for me to actually go ahead and impact. And then you can ask me what all they were, but that would take another session for me to actually explain. But what remains even today is education. What remains even today is the fact that I had this huge issue of seeing Indian students not asking enough questions in their schools, campuses, coaching institutes, peer groups. They were not asking enough questions. It was just being delivered one way and regurgitated the opposite way. You were being delivered a certain amount of input. You were processing it in your own hunky-dory cocktailish manner. There was an exam or an assessment waiting to happen, and then you will go ahead and vomit it out because that is how the processing system worked, or that is how the assembly chain was. And there weren't enough questions. My whole problem with the education system was and I'm talking of a very big problem, which is the education system. I am a very small person. I'm just one person, one human being, or possibly a set of human beings who were put into a team by me, and essentially we started designing something on it. The problem was that we knew what we were solving, and sometimes, as Jatin very rightly said, or Pragya and Disha very rightly said, or Ronak very rightly said, that Sometimes it's not just about what unit product that you're looking at, sir, or what you're trying to solve, but it's important to know who we are taking it from. And that is where you start creating a sense of difference from others. That is where you start creating a USP for yourself. That is where you start curating a very sharp sense of difference that people will see you with. Good, bad, ugly, that let people decide. You can't take care of all the variables yourself. But be very honest to the emotion that you're trying to hit. Be very honest to the kind of conversation that you're trying to build. Be very honest to the fact that as young people, you are here not to just get the skills that you need and get into FANG, possibly all the FANG companies. Anurag, I thank you for that term, but I'm not a great fan of that. All 5 companies, been there, done that, passed on. And the whole idea is it's no big deal if you're not innovating every day, if you're not getting the autonomy to work on things that you like. So understand for yourself that there is a very, very specific sense when you talk about entrepreneurship, especially at your age, especially in the comforts of Byjus, especially in the comfort of IIEST. The fact that you have so much available to you, so many resources, so many professors, such campuses, such available laboratories, such available friends, peers, that if you do not start asking questions today, if you do not start discussing ideas today, if you do not start sharing different modules with each other today, if you do not start focusing on that one thing that eventually makes you excited about being an engineer or being whatever set of courses that you are doing, then you are not going to entrepreneur. And I can be 100% sure about that, because an entrepreneur is not a designation or a position or a social tag or anything of that sort. It's a mindset. It's a spirit thing. The more you think about these things, the more it kind of simplifies itself for you, because you go ahead and think that, am I being able to put across issues to people in a way that I'm being smart with them? If I'm being smart with them, am I being focused? If I'm being focused, am I working enough on it, at least for one aspect of it in which I can compete with the world in the skills that I have? Am I building a team which is complementary enough? And am I doing everything that it takes together to consolidate the confidence to go to people and tell them, I have a solution for your problem? This is the journey. That's it, and that is what is going to take you through. And it starts as early as your first semester. It starts as early as your third, as your fifth semester. Don't worry about the fact that whether you land a job or not, or whether your skills are essentially going to be enough or not. I guarantee you, and this guarantee comes with opportunities that inshallah I'll keep on sharing with your campus and your placement cell and your entrepreneurship cell, wherein I guarantee you that if you have had an entrepreneurial idea when you were at campus, your FANG dreams are also taking shape. And when I say FANG, the people who do not understand it, Anurag, if you're still on the call, can you just abbreviate it for them, what FANG means? Anurag, if you're there. Even if he isn't, yes, it essentially stands for the 5 big. Oh, Anurag is there. Yeah, Anurag, please, for everybody.
Yeah.
The ones
First of all, sorry, I just got biased by this YouTube thing. Means this was coined.
I understand. I understand where your inspirations are coming from, but just the full form. Yeah.
No, it's basically Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, and Google.
Yeah, the 6 companies or the 5 companies that are essentially redefining or defining the amount of innovation that we consume on a very daily basis. Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google. And the whole idea is, when you actually consume it, do you have the eye to identify how specific have they been in knowing who you are, in knowing how they can make your everyday experiences on the platforms better? And if you can understand that, then everything else takes care of itself. And that is where you become an entrepreneur in your spirit. Not necessarily leaving a job is entrepreneurship. Not necessarily starting a company entrepreneurship. Not necessarily is going ahead and creating a new big bang innovation with a great patent to your name necessarily entrepreneurship. But what truly is this centricism of knowing who is it that I'm doing it for? Who is it or what is it that I'm solving the issue in? If we can start signifying that or identifying that, connected with that one skill that we can contribute to a solution with, work towards making that skill a world-beating skill, combine with a team which completes the stack of the solution that we are looking towards, and then tell to the world that we have a solution which is in the form of a business model and a startup. That is where you crack it. But as far as this story is concerned, this very story that you wanted to hear, my story and my inspirations, the inspirations start way early as a reasonable student and as a reasonable engineer at that, having 2.5, 3 patents on cloud computing and security, computer science engineer, regular tier 2, tier 3 boy, essentially trying to make a dent when in campus, trying to work with people in the campus to design bots and design robots, because that is what I understood about engineering. Going to an IIT Kharagpur and essentially understanding the limitations in this skill as far as what I was trying to develop on and what I was focusing on. Getting those 6-7 offers on campus in a recession year, and essentially going ahead and joining one of those after doing an internship with Google Analytics for almost a year and a half, going into an IBM, working towards 3 patents with them, working with 3 of their departments, and eventually in 2.5 years understanding that if I work any more in this particular company, I'm going to have spondylitis, because whatever little ideas remain in the head are essentially going to evaporate in a very quick notion. It does not mean that I did not have colleagues who still remain there and are doing great for themselves and are being entrepreneurs in their own they are designing things and they are being part of missions and motives that are as glorified as I think I have been part of. Start an edtech company, build it, start earning revenues from the 7th day of my formation, earn somewhere around 23.5 CRs, 23.5 crores, that is Indian rupees, which is almost equivalent to $3.5 million, burn about $3.75 million out of it, get into debts, do not sign co-founders agreement with my co-founders, lose a team of 50 odd people, sell a part of my company back to a lot of people, become a partner to the government of India, become the national venture building partner of Invest India and Startup India, become the national academic partner of the Ministry of Human Resource, and eventually realize that all this while I was living a dream. I was living what I always wanted to do, albeit the resources had reduced, albeit the kind of remuneration or compensation that I was getting for it had reduced markedly, and it was remarkable reduction in the money that I made, but it was a remarkable improvement in the sleep that I got. So if you actually dream of things, the trade-offs kind of blur out, and those trade-offs are things that possibly entrepreneurs can cut off. And there have been much smarter ones who started at the same time, made it big, raised a lot of investment, were covered by the biggest platforms in India, in Asia, across the world. Few of my colleagues happen to be on Forbes list today. I'm talking to you, and I'm as happy as I was when I was starting off on 13th of June 2016 with my first EdTech idea. So it is not about, fortunately or unfortunately, our education system kind of tells us only to focus on our winners and the kind of successes that we get. They only reward the fact that you had a certain kind of a rank and hence you are in this particular college. They only reward a particular aspect that you worked your asses off to be essentially where you are as of now, and you need to continue doing that so that you are part of this Fang Wali Puri fandom that they have been able to create. But what matters more, and this is one thing that I would always like you people to possibly live with and live across, is the fact that do engineer something. You are studying engineering, because a lot of us in India, when we do this particular course, which I did, and then followed it up with the so-called regular idea of going ahead and doing an executive MBA and all of that sort, we do not engineer enough. We do not engineer solutions. We do not engineer technologies. We do not engineer our own interpersonal abilities. We do not engineer our ability to have a great conversation with our friends, peers at campus. We do not engineer the fact that a civil engineer can actually go ahead and meet a computer science person, and a computer science person can actually sit with a chemical engineering student, and together they design something that has to do something with biotechnology. So the fact is, because we don't talk, because we are not forthcoming enough, because we essentially do not share when we have the liberty to fail, when we have the liberty to essentially create buffers and yet experiment in our own cocoon, is where we are falling short. And as young people, first, third, fifth semester students, professors who are essentially influencing them to better decisions in life, I just want you people to engineer something. I just want you people to experiment. And I'm a call away if you need me for anything, for your designs, for your computer science based algorithmic experiments, for your code issues, for your core departmental issues. I have enough arsenal now because of the kind of work I was part of to actually bring to you any kind of an expert or a subject matter mentor that you might need for any of your projects, products, ideas. But just go ahead and converse, connect, build an interesting network around yourself. Interesting, not with regards to what they do and how they share stuff. So Disha, I'll disappoint you a little, but they won't only share hobbies or only share the likes for the particular kind of brands. But this should be a network which kind of becomes complementary to the way you are engineering your way towards your degree. Because if you don't do that, there are another set of 11.5 lakh engineers who are being manufactured by the assembly line called Indian colleges in this country. And if we are not different, at the end of that 2024 mark, when you would be standing with your head held high, ki, Bhaiya, I have the degree now that I always wanted to have, but what do we do with it? Because there are so many other people who have this degree. That is where this particular sentence or this particular set of phrases that I kind of construed together for all of you will start making a bit of sense, that every company, every corporate, every entrepreneurial opportunity or every idea that you build through these 4 years are essentially going to give you the confidence of telling your probable recruiter, your probable recruitee, and I consider some of you becoming bosses by the time you pass out from campus, and I hope good bosses who do not believe in hierarchies. And eventually going ahead and seeing that you understood the term of what you had engineered in 4 years or engineered in 3 years, because that is where you get this confidence from. That is where you converse with people. That is where you build a network, which is important. That is where you know the complementarity that you need to have around you. आपके जैसे ही 10 को जोड़ लोगे अपने आसपास, तो या तो सिर्फ तारीफ करने वाले या सिर्फ बुराई करने वाले मिल जाएंगे. There wouldn't be this constructive sense of going towards a closure, going towards a certain kind of understanding of yourself and the ideas that you have and the products that you want to build and the brands that you want to be part of. Not for one moment am I wanting to mean that you shouldn't be interested in corporate jobs, or you shouldn't be looking at government opportunities, and you shouldn't be pursuing further education and stuff like that. What I'm trying to mean is every stage that you are configuring for yourself has to be a sum total of the engineering that you wanted to give your life via the engineering degree that you were part of. Because if you do that, you would have achieved the sense that you wanted to achieve. I shared with you a term when I started, which is something called failure as a service, FAAS. This is something that I'll file a patent on, and then for the first time, this would be something that I'll also put it on my LinkedIn and stuff like that, because when people like Sarvesh and then the campus admins contact me for such sessions, they'll read failure as a service and they'll be introducing. Well, if you want to understand what not to do, we have done all of that. As a student, as an engineer, as a recruiter, as an entrepreneur, as a government partner, every that you want to add has been earned by me. So all the nodes are kind of covered. Now, some of you will study in your courses something called cloud computing, and in that you will learn infrastructure as a service and software as a service and platform as a service. Remember, you met somebody called failure as a service, because I have that whole stack of repeat the ones that the ones that I was part of or I committed almost unknowingly or sometimes even knowingly. So that's essentially the idea of entrepreneurship. You live across the pivot of people. You know the problem that you are trying to address. You define it vis-a-vis an emotion because you want to have a universal solution via a universal team, and you sustain towards it. And the more you sustain is the more fame, name, and money that you are essentially going to trade off with. So it's a very linear yet a very zigzag scale or non-linear scale of activities and events that happen when you are in entrepreneurship. So ever wanting a service on failure as a service, feel free to connect. I'll drop my coordinates of LinkedIn and Facebook, and I'll see to it that today nobody sends me an invite, because for the first time there would be somebody who's selling his own failures to you. And that is how it is. This is what it was, and this is how the journey has been. There's been a lot of money to be made. There has been a lot of team members. There have been a lot of relationships that you get part of. The newest recruitee that you take, the wide-eyed intern that you take from a campus, the young collaborator that you work with, all of that is a lot of fun, but it's not as hunky-dory as the world paints it to be. So be ready for a lot of twists and travails. There are times in life when you will not be left with a lot of average monthly balance in your bank account. It's not a fairy tale that you're living. It's not as easy as it shows in the flip of a movie scene that it changes. It generally isn't as quick as the articles make it look like, because that is where you're reading it linearly. This is where the time kind of unravels itself over a period of time. There are things that happen for the good, and then there are things that you just learn from and develop a perspective into. And that is how engineering is also. Unfortunately, engineering isn't taught that way in India. We don't do enough. We learn a lot, but we don't do enough. Try being those doers. Try converting, try asking questions of why differential equation is being taught to you in your first semester. Why is calculus back to haunt you in your life in your third semester? Why is algorithms and coding and surveying and mechanical design and fluid contractions not becoming a part of your syllabus from the first semester? Though you joined a course on engineering, you are still being taught basic science. You have to go ahead and ask and possibly understand the executions of each. Because the time you start doing that, you start understanding the perspective of it. You start understanding that there is certain number of things that you can actually go ahead and design and develop and define via what you are learning today. And if you keep quiet the way you generally kept quiet at your schools, and I'm not trying to generalize it, but I am pretty sure there isn't somebody in this group of 70, 60 odd people who are talking to me right now who has asked more than 100 questions a day when he was at school. And there has been a study very recently which shows that people who have had entrepreneurial mindset have at least asked 116 questions while they were in between the age bracket of 13 to 24. So on a daily basis. So just liberate yourself for once. Be ready to be called a Dumbo, be ready to be called a dumbass, be ready to be called as somebody who's not considered ingenious and the one to look out for in a class of 10, in a class of 50, in a class of 100. Don't try to be the smartest, because smartness would come via the smartness of your questions, smartness of the fact that you are essentially taking interest in something and you're delving deep enough to actually skillify yourself in that particular domain of expertise. So don't unnecessarily pose, don't unnecessarily try to establish a sense of knowing it all and kind of covering the bases. I know what I'm about and all of that stuff. It can all wait. That would all happen automatically. That side effectual of you being inquisitive, that side effectual of you being part of education. That's why learning was important for the human race, because we had the ability to ask, and any innovation that has happened, any experiment that happens is a result of the fact that you had asked questions. Any new algorithm that you will write would be a result of the fact that you were ready to question the path already taken, and if it is right, then you also take it. Don't just be a rebel without a cause. If you find a reason enough, strong enough, factual enough, just go ahead, change the track. But unless the track is proven to be reasonable and it is optimized, just follow it. And that is where as young people and as people between the age bracket of 17 to 22 start taking yourself and the decisions that you take, the pivots that you do, the learning stacks that you choose, the kind of engineering degree that you want to eventually end up with, start taking all of that very seriously, because as much as humor is important in life, in your decisions, you cannot be casual. You cannot be just, I took it and let's see what happens with this. Be a little more informed, be a little more interactive with it, be a little more networked on it. And I'm not trying to mean all of this in a very serious manner, but even when you're talking about basic science and humanities, while you're being taught all of that in your first semester, just go out and know what the world is doing with that very knowledge. And try being constructively competitive, because when you do that is when you essentially become an engineer. And for everything else or that you can fail on, you know the number to dial. If you don't know it yet, then you know it now. I hope you know it now. Okay. Oh, I was being asked questions. Sorry, I did not scroll. Brand is more saleable, but it builds due to quality of product. Product अच्छी तो खुद ही brand बन जाएगी. Prince, I read that. Sorry, I had not read it. Apple, Windows. Okay. And then you can possibly check me out wherever you want. LinkedIn, Facebook, सब जगह कहीं ना कहीं मिल जाऊंगा. आजकल Google पे भी मिल जाता हूँ 1-2-3 नाम. तो ढूंढ लेना. And if you feel there are things where we can connect, I could be useful to your projects, to your products, to whatever I'm doing as of now. What I do as of now, because it was also about my story, this particular session, a request to the admins, it could be about their story next time on. In about 3 months, we do another session with this very lot, and I ask them their story, and it would be fantastic to learn from them. So today I work with somewhere around 193 startups, about 7 state governments, 3 union territories, get them funded, work with their teams on tech, work with their teams on marketing and distribution, as a venture builder, as well as a person who brings failure as a service as a context. I charge for them to save them from the failures that I committed. So I kind of do that for a living. I am on board or director of 6 other startups. I have co-founded 3 startups. One of them is co-owned by somebody who you very famously know also, because and he's one of my co-founders. I'm his backroom team in that particular capacity. There's a very local Calcutta-based brand also in which I play a very important role, and you kind of consume from it almost on a daily basis. Some of you at least do. Most of you don't like it. Yeah, Nishan, you started working on a small idea while you were in A12, but I failed after 2 months. I just wanted to know, where did I go wrong? I never know. How did you go wrong? I'll have to understand a little more about it, Nishan. I'll have to talk to you about it. We'll connect over it. In fact, we can use this time to do any kind of questions that you have in your head. Did I promise you anything else? I told you about something, right?
Yeah, Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Mahendra Singh Dhoni. All of you remember all of that names, right? So, all of you have heard of him, I hope, Mahendra Singh Dhoni?
Yes, sir.
Wrong question to ask. Adesh was like, हाँ. अब मतलब आप मेरे से पूछेगा कि हम महेंद्र सिंह धोनी को जानते हैं कि नहीं, मतलब कुछ भी हाँ. So he's one of the most iconic sports people that we have, sportsmen that we have had, one of the most successful Indian cricket captains that we have had, and for a lot of people, is this the best to? Rohit has a question. Is this the best time, hoga shayad? Time to open an outdoor startup? What do you mean by an outdoor startup? Every startup goes outdoors and every startup remains indoors. I understand what you're trying to mean. Rohit, it is subjective. I'll come to this specific question. Let me just do this entertainment bit for all of you, because this has been one thing that has stayed with me for the last 1 decade. We are almost closing on a decade in about 4 days. 2011 to 2020 has been a very interesting decade with a very very awkward year called 2020 to end it up with. But it started with 2011, and something very interesting happened on 2nd April 2011. Does anybody remember that? 2nd April 10:38 2011. Star Sports और ESPN पे कुछ हुआ था और वेंकटे में कुछ हुआ था.
वर्ल्ड कप
फाइनल हुआ था. मोहम्मद सैफ साहब को मालूम है? आप लोग छोटे रहोगे यार. क्रिकेट फॉलो करते थे? कितने लोग उस टाइम क्रिकेट फॉलो करते थे? यस लिख दो
सर. उसी वक्त तो
चैट में लिखो यहाँ पे मत बोलना. हाँ चलो. सो जितने लोग भी फॉलो किए थे यस लिख देना. बाकी लोगों से मैं थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करके क्रिकेट भी समझा दूंगा क्रिकेट क्या होता है. अरे ठीक है बहुत लोग फॉलो किए थे. आई अंडरस्टूड. सो 10:38, 2nd April 2011, India had one of its most iconic sports movement that still lives, because we have not won a world tournament after that. I don't think we have won a world tournament after that. No, we have not. As a country, for sure, we have not won anything. So it was one of those moments. I was in my second year of engineering. Also was doing a research internship from Jadavpur parallelly at that point of time. And one of the highs of life when I got to celebrate that iconic six that Mahendra Singh Dhoni hit to win us a World Cup after 28 years. And हम में से कई लोगों ने उसको लाइव देखा है. बहुत सारे लोगों ने यहाँ यस लिखा, तो शायद उन लोगों ने लाइव भी देखा होगा. हम अगर एक बहुत बड़े पत्थर के अंदर दबे हुए थे तो ESPN made it a point that अगले 2 हफ्ते तक उसी छक्के को चलाते रहे थे वो लोग, ताकि हमें याद हो जाए कि किसने मारा, किस बॉलर को मारा, कितने रन चाहिए थे, कितना रन बाकी थे उस वक्त. एंड उसके बाद भी अगर हम में से कुछ लोगों ने देखा, जैसे कुछ बंदों को या कुछ बंदियों को उतना क्रिकेट में इंटरेस्ट नहीं है, तो जीत गए क्रिकेट वर्ल्ड कप, बिग डील वाले लोग जो थे, तो उनको जब नहीं समझ में आया तो बॉलीवुड मेड इट अ पॉइंट दैट they मतलब rubbed it on our face by making a movie on it, MS Dhoni the Untold Story, which started with that six and ended with that six. So हम सबके लिए वो एक 91 मीटर्स का छक्का था जो इंडिया के भूतपूर्व कैप्टन ने 4 रन की जरूरत पे 11 बॉल्स रहते हुए एक छक्का मारा था और इंडिया को एक वर्ल्ड कप जिताया था. मेरा नजरिया उस छक्के की वजह से बहुत सारी चीजों में लाइफ में बदल गया था. इसी तरह से आपके भी बहुत सारी चीजें कंटेम्पररी आपके साथ होती रहेंगी जिसमें आपके लिए बहुत सारी चीजें बदल जाएंगी. अगले 3 मिनट मुझे दीजिए, उसके बाद जिन को जहां जाना है प्लीज चले जाना, और जिन को कुछ सवाल पूछने हैं. हाँ, गंभीर आंसर जो आई कंप्लीटली अग्री. मलक Gambhir was the unsung hero, but the 6 is important because not of what heroism it had or what kind of a end exclamation that it put, but what I'm trying to explain to you that what kind of an impact can an interaction have with you. So I will live back that 6 with you, and अगर मजा आए तो appreciate कर देना, ताली बजा देना चैट पे. अगर मजा ना आए तो चैट छोड़ के चले जाना. Next 2 minutes with me. And let's see whether we can relive some very dark periods of our life with a very light moment or a very happy moment for all Indians called the Mahendra Singh Dhoni 6 that won us the World Cup. So India needed 4 runs out of 11 balls. The batsman who was on strike was Mahendra Singh Dhoni, as I've repeated infinite number of times now. The bowler who was bowling was Navan Kalasekara from Sri Lanka, and he starts running. That's muscular memory turning into mechanical energy, allowing him advanced kinetic energy to reach the bowling crease. As soon as he reached the bowling crease, he generated enough angular momentum in his arm to deliver the ball against air viscosity. Air viscosity is nothing but air friction. He delivered the ball against air viscosity. The ball swung in the air and it took a pitch. When it swung, it was nothing but drift velocity, and drift velocity allowed it to engage with some energy, and so that when it took a pitch, there was limiting friction. As soon as there was limiting friction, it allowed Dhoni the involuntary reflex time in his central neural system to pivot his bat up, and because of an involuntary reflex that was generated in his body, he brought it down with a particular force. As soon as he brought the bat down with a particular force, the ball met the bat and there was an inelastic collision. As soon as an inelastic collision happened, Newton-Chacha stepped in. Newton-Chacha taught us to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. The ball was traveling towards the batsman. Now the ball will travel opposite to it. But because of Einstein-Kaku, who taught us energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, it can only be transformed from one form to another. The ball actually had some form of dissipation in energy, and the other was a dispersion in angle. Because of the dispersion in angle, it took a particular projectile, covered a particular range, and eventually the 6 that was hit was of 91 meters, and eventually there was noise. Noise was nothing but the waves that percolated through disturbances and reached all our ears because all of us celebrated as a country that day. Agree? ये 17 टॉपिक्स जो हैं फिजिक्स, केमिस्ट्री, मैथमेटिक्स, बायोलॉजी के, इन्होंने हमारी जिंदगी की बहुत सारी एल लगाई हैं, क्योंकि हमने इन टॉपिक्स को प्रोफेसर महेंद्र सिंह धोनी से नहीं सीखा, और प्रोफेसर महेंद्र सिंह धोनी के छक्के में इस एक पर्टिकुलर बात को नहीं बिल्ड किया। हम उस पर्सपेक्टिव को भूल गए कि सीखने के लिए हर मोमेंट, हर कंटेम्पररी एक्टिविटी इज गुड इनफ। ससुराल सिमरका से IoT सीखा जा सकता है, और शर्लॉक होम्स से बिल्डिंग इंफॉर्मेशन मॉडलिंग, गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स से डिजाइन ऑफ ब्रिजेस सीखी जा सकती हैं, तो कॉन्सेप्ट या क्या बोलते हैं मनी हाइस्ट से द आइडिया ऑफ स्ट्रैटेजी सीखी जा सकती है। The point is, if we do not contemporize, we will not start engaging. If we do not engage, we will not ask. If we do not ask, we will not learn. If we do not learn, there is no part in us which is essentially getting degreed. It's only a paper that we are getting as an engineering degree. Breaking Bad se chemistry, for sure, Mayank. Brilliant. If I've got one more example, I'll use it somewhere else, Mayank. Thank you for that. But that's where life took a U-turn. It told me that all of those topics were never a pain in the wrong places for me. Some of you have raised hands, I know. I'll give you a slot, boss. But what it gave me a sense was a lot of people, when I shared it with them, kind of open up the horizon, are like, okay, sin 30 सुना तो है कि half होता है, देखा कभी नहीं है। आज देख के रहेंगे कि sin 30 half कैसे होता है। सर्कल की एरिया पाई आर स्क्वायर जानते तो हैं, लेकिन वो पाई आर स्क्वायर डिफाइन कैसे होता है ये पता नहीं। द फैक्ट दैट पाई इज 3.1431327861991432, यहाँ तक का मेरे को याद है, उसके आगे का याद नहीं है, इज द फैक्ट दैट इट हैज बीन कैलकुलेटेड बिकॉज ऑफ अ रेशियो दैट हैज रिमेन्ड कांस्टेंट थ्रू द यूनिवर्स। द फैक्ट इज व्हेन वी लर्न, we don't learn with interconnected interactions. We don't learn with interactions that have perspectives. The pie, right? The pie. Jatin, scam 1992 is a little misplaced yahan pe, but I hope there is a reason that you write it here. In fact, yes, you can learn a lot of things from that also. So not bad. And that's how it is. The more you contemporize, the more you remain in the moment and think of the future of what's coming up, the better the ideas become, the more effective their reach, the more defined their physics from race 3 would be a blunder, Rohit. Let's not discuss that. Let's stay with Christopher Nolan for physics at least. Tenet would be better, I hope. And that is how it is. So yeah, this is the story. This is what I had to share with all of you. This is Mahendra Singh Dhoni for you from my lenses. Nowadays Unacademy uses it. I have had this story since 2015. Unacademy now, after the IPL, is using it in a very funky way, because we kind of passed down a lot of our IP to a lot of people. But we'll be back solving a few questions for the schools of India. We'll be back solving a few questions for the universities of India. I'll be back at IAST. It's been a while. 2020 has not been kind for me to actually visit your campus at least twice or thrice a year. Your senior batches have been ones that I have continuously engaged with. There have been a lot of very, very smart entrepreneurs who have come from your campus, who have actually designed products that actually matter. And the fact that nowadays I've started investing in a few newer ideas, you might be all the more interested in calling me, because कुछ नहीं तो बंदा थोड़ा सा entertainment का थोड़े पैसे लगा के चला जाएगा. So that is how things will happen. Inception would teach us the limit of the human realm, how much we can get into the deliberative loops of. Some of you will write infinite while loops. While you write that, think of Inception and then try explaining yourself via while loops. I used to use that. Matrix augmented reality, sir. So no, today augmented reality and mixed reality have become a reality. But in 2001, when they were showing all of that, it was science fiction. So that is how cinema or contemporary art can actually become such a great source of what we learn, what we study, and what we essentially use in the contemporary world. Not really ahead of the time movie, Kiranmoy. It kind of knew what it was talking about vis-a-vis science and vis-a-vis the element of progress that we were making. So So it kind of just extrapolated. Statistics में एक चीज पढ़ाई जाती है जिसको हम लोग extrapolation कहते हैं. They extrapolated time and the other variables together and eventually got into something which was truly amazing. So yeah, that is what I had to share with all of you. Again, sorry for being late. Sorry for being late by almost 20 minutes. I did not intend to do that, but I had this very, very unique person that wanted to have my time. In fact, I got him funded. So your 20 minutes were used by somebody to actually take in 1.5 crores of investment with him. So we just got a very young tech education technology company funded with one of the leading venture capitalists of this country. So that is what took time. Sorry for that. And now anybody and everybody who has any kind of a question, feel free. Professors, students, anybody, because this is more a chat, less the broadcast that it has been till now. I'll share my LinkedIn ID, because sometimes and nowadays mostly that's the most important ID that I can give you. Facebook is in passe. Insta I'm not on. Twitter, and I'm a very different person, so you don't want to see me on Twitter. So I've shared whatever I had to, and there's a lot more that we can workshop on, or we can work on, whether it be cloud computing, application development, whether it be business development, strategization, inshallah, for a few of you who actually design ideas and design models together. It would be my pleasure to be part of some of your journeys into taking your ideas to fruition. So yeah, thank you IIST team. Thank you Sarvesh for being so patient with me. I made you wait a lot. But
okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Akib, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
I'm Professor Konika here. So just I would like to know whether since there's process of getting through the government channels and then to the selection and then to the funding, it really takes more than a year. And the boys lose their momentum.
Boys
so
and girls.
Of course, I should say, yeah, I have always, yes, that's true, when the students together, I should say. And then I think, why don't you young people who have already created a niche for yourself, already become very successful, why don't you create a club where they can apply? I think there, at least you can do the screening and that process much faster, and then probably through you can send it to the funding agency, since you said you are a part of the government startup. Yeah. So when you do it professionally, the government channels are not so professional.
True.
So why don't you do that, so that the boys they have so much ideas. We are also kind of, we have to go through red tapes. We can't help that. So if directly a professional body can screen the ideas and say, yeah, they are worth funding, and that you can do it. Why don't you pitch in that your idea to the government?
So, ma'am, so post this call and post this meeting, I'll share with you something which I already do with a lot of campuses. There are about 37 campuses that I work with in this very model that you're expecting me to work. This is this group of about 37 entrepreneurs who have either failed big time or kind of had made it big in a certain industry, who are bringing back all that they learned and all that they essentially want from the new age of entrepreneurs to actually be working on when they start working on a particular idea. This is something called free flow campuses that we kind of work with. I'm working with ISM Dhanbad. I'm working with SIT Bhubaneswar, KIIT. We're working with Trident. We're working with Ramaiya. Working with SRM, IIT Delhi, and the whole idea of working with these campuses is essentially to make it a little more professional, to make it a little more serious, because ideas, innovations are part and parcel of the overall engineering journey that these students have in their own campuses. But the fact is they don't get a very structured program in converting it into a business model. So that is what we have actually designed already in conjunction with almost 150 years plus of experience in student entrepreneurship from Babson College of Entrepreneurship, from Ken 42, which is backed by PwC. And then we kind of eventually fund a few of those also. So it kind of runs in a very simple way. We select, so we go and do a session like this physically or digitally as Corona permits or COVID permits. And we address about 300 plus students on a cyclical manner, give them problem areas, give them, collect from them various kinds of statements or idea statements or products or POCs that they might already be talking to or talking about. For example, there was this guy who was talking about, I think it was, sorry, I missed his name, but yeah, Nishan was working on this one of these ideas. So we collect all of those ideas, select the best 25 or the ones which are most optimized. I shouldn't call them best or better. The better one of them, work on a digital platform with them, give them mentors of three kinds, alumnus from the same campus, because it makes a lot of impact when somebody from your own campus comes back and tells you a thing or two about it. So we search for alumnuses who are either doing their own setup or are entrepreneurs in their own right in the various corporates that they are part of or are in leadership roles themselves. The second are college POCs. We kind of select a few designated professors because nobody is better than a professor in a campus to influence, inspire, and to invigorate. And then the third are the mentors from the industry, the startups, the SMEs, the MSMEs, the governments. Even the governments are ready to nominate a few people. We have a panel of them. And then we kind of zero it down from 25 to the top 10. And those 10 eventually form a company. And that happens within a cycle of about 6 months. So in a semester, we prove to them that your brand ambassadors are sitting with you rather than you looking for them on the web or you reading about them on your story or INC 42 and stuff like that. Your brand ambassador might be a colleague of yours or a batchmate of yours sitting beside you building the next company that matters. So that is that program. If you need it, I'll send across details of that.
Yes. That is, yes, it's better if you can send it to the Vice President of IIC, and the boys will give you the email ID.
For sure.
So I think you got the invitation from the Vice President, the President of the IIC.
I think
you got the invitation. Yeah, you got the invitation from him only. Okay.
Subhashish Bhaumik. Yeah.
Subhashish Bhaumik, right. So you can just send it to him as a proposal and we can forward it because the brand ambassadors creation of them is very important. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was quite invigorating and enriching for me also.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Priyanshu, Jatin, you had two questions. I'll quickly answer them. Priyanshu, as I said to you, entrepreneurship is more than just an idea or a business model or just a business. It is the way you run it. It is the spirit with which you keep on innovating with people's centricism in your head, because that is where you keep on improving and sustaining. Sometimes the businesses that we traditionally talk about stagnate over a period of time and kind of do not try to reinvent the experience for the user. So that is the broadest difference. I have a whole hog list of how they are different. When we meet, inshallah, whenever it's possible, I'll possibly connect with you and discuss that in your campus. Jatin, how did you manage? Jatin, to be very, very, very frank to you, irrespective of the number of midterms, end terms, sem terms that you're going to give, you're going to have a lot of time as an engineering student in your 4 years and 8 semesters. And you will not even know, and they'll just fly. So it's not about time. It's not about managing. It's about prioritizing and connecting the two of them together. It's like Dhoni's chakka being connected to parabolic trajectories. It's about you knowing what you're trying to design and you knowing what skill is it going to take and how is your skill eventually going to help you with that. So don't worry about the balance that you need to strike between your academics and your startup. It automatically achieves itself if you are envisioning the right kind of skill sets for the idea that you have, because you should be a very important contributor in your own idea, and if you are, then you would be working towards it in becoming very good at it, and if you start becoming very good at it, you would be using your academics for it. Academics were made to make you a better professional and not vice versa. Professionals were not supposed to have great academics. So that's how it works out. So don't worry about managing the trade-off between the same, because it kind of evens out itself over the course of time. But you need to have the centricism right, and the right kind of network and the right kind of people. Never believe that you'll be able to build it all by yourself. It's going to be a team. So start combining and surrounding yourself not just with your friends, but people who you really admire for their skills and for the complementarity that they hold to your idea. They might not be the best acquaintance that you might have had, but that is how you build businesses. You build bridges with people who you might not be very personally comfortable with, but you will be comfortable professionally with them, and that is where you become smart. So that is how you will be able to manage it. Don't do all of it yourself. You will not be able to stretch it beyond the time. You have to combine your efforts together, and all of you be on LinkedIn. That's the platform to be on as of now. Keep connecting, keep following things that truly make you excited. There's a lot of things happening across, and there's a lot of learning to have from it. Where can I find more webinars to attend and learn for now? Just go ahead, field day. Google is your answer. Facebook is your answer. Apple is your answer. Netflix is your answer. They have content. If it's academic content and certified content, try Coursera. Even till date, it's not bad. But first know what you want to do, and why. Have the whys sorted. The hows and the whats will take care of themselves. So yeah, thank you. So I think there are no more questions, Sarvesh. Thank you for being patient again with me. And pleasure talking to all of you. I hope we connect.
For the vote of thanks, I would like to thank you for taking out some of your precious time in your busy schedule and enlightening us with your knowledge and experience. I would request the participants to connect with you on LinkedIn or as you said, Facebook also. Sure. And as after hearing you, everyone can easily guess the level of knowledge you have. So once again, huge thanks from.
सारी बोलने की बात है. चल ठीक है. Okay, Sarvesh. Bye. Pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
So for the next event, I hand it over to Prajwal. Prajwal, are you there?
Yes, Sarvesh.
Yeah. Hand it over to you.
Yep. So next we are going to have, I would like to ask Amritanshu Prasad Bhaiya. Bhaiya, are you there?
Yeah, hello. Just wait a minute. And, can you hear me? Anyone?
Yeah, Bhaiya. We can hear you.
Okay, thanks. I think there are some 50 odd people, and since this is a group activity, you might want to call in your teammates, I suggest. So I'll just give you a minute or two. And okay. Okay, so is anyone else joining? Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, Bhaiya, yeah.
Okay, good. Some of you might have already seen this presentation. I just sent it to your group, and even if you haven't, don't worry about it. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about what is a pitch. So as you can see, a pitch is a short presentation where you describe a company or a product, regardless of whatever business it does or whatever it is. And that's about it. Presentation does not need to be a PowerPoint. Many people confuse a presentation with a PowerPoint presentation, but a presentation is more than that. A presentation can be either through, just talking about it. Okay. Wait. Is my audio clear? I think there's some problem.
Yeah, we are. Audio is clear.
Okay, good. Yeah, so a presentation is where you describe a company or a product, and yeah, it can be any company, any product. And in fact, I would say that pitches are the background of everything that we do. They are the lifeblood of the modern economy. You could be pitching a research idea to any startup, any funding committee or a professor, so that you can do your project. Even your professor might ask you to pitch an idea for your mini project itself, which you will have, I guess, some of you will have in the second year itself. And you can be pitching a startup idea to investor, which is, the basic place where the pitches are used. You could pitch an NGO, you could pitch your job, even you could be pitching what you are doing to your friends and family. So the possibilities where you might be pitching things is endless. And there are also many different types of pitches. Some of you who might be a bit tech entrepreneur savvy might have heard of something called the elevator pitch. So what it is that actually, suppose you meet, let's say, Steve Jobs. Okay, sorry, he's dead, but never mind. Suppose you meet Elon Musk or let's say Bill Gates in an elevator, and so you are just together for that small elevator ride, which would be a few minutes, let's say 2 minutes, and in 2 minutes you have to explain whatever you want to say, and that's it. That's the elevator pitch. In 2 minutes, you have to describe whatever you want to do, and you have to convince the person that they fund you. So that is it. And other than that, you also might have heard of a sales pitch. Sales pitch is when you meet a salesperson, what he gives you, that is a sales pitch. But today we are here to do a specific kind of pitching. I want you to do a product pitch. Not so simple, but you have to do it quick. You will get around 3 minutes to complete your pitch. And now what I am going to do is give you an adjective, a noun, and a verb to each team. And you are supposed to build a product which can be described using the 3 words. You can have a different name, and then you have to give a 1-word description which includes the 3 words. And yes, the very key thing is that your audience is your audience, that is the participants, all of you will be both the competitors and the judges. So what I am going to do is, let me explain you the scoring system. What I will do is give you a Google form, the link of which I'll send you shortly in the group. And then as the pitches go on, you have to give ranks for different categories, which are creativity, originality, utility, and presentation. All of you have to give scores to all of the teams, including yourself. Some of you might think that you will give yourself higher marks and everyone else low marks. So unfortunately, if you do that, there is a higher chances of someone who is not actually the best getting the prize, and it may not be you. So that should incentivize you to give proper scores. And also a very key thing, there are no rules. You can do anything, you can cover any product which you like, and it can be as unrealistic, as out of the world as you want it to be. This is your dream world, and if you have watched Inception, there's a dialogue in it. We must not be afraid to dream a little bit bigger. So dream as big as you can. And with that, I'll just share you the words. You can check it out in the group, in the PDF in your group. There are 20 teams, and all of the teams have been given words. I'm not sure if all of the teams are there, but yeah, according to your list, check it out. So I will give you 10 minutes, and in 10 minutes, let's meet back and we'll start. I hope all of you remember your team numbers. I will be calling you in that order itself. Yes, sir. 5 minutes have passed. You have another 5 minutes.
Someone speaking from the gamer's territory. In this video, I'm gonna fix this shit. You know what it is? This is. It took me a while. Fit girl troubleshooting helped me and follow these steps carefully. So the thing is that either you go to safe mode or you just fucking nuke your Windows Defender. That's the only thing causing this issue. I'm considering this as one case. Another case I'm gonna show you. The other case is so stupid. You're gonna laugh doing that. And if it works for you, and fucking miracle, man. So even if you are trying to turning it your Windows Defender off from here, it ain't gonna work, bro. That ain't gonna work because Windows Defender.
Okay, so time's up.
From here, man. Like I'm gonna turn
And I am sending you the scoring form. You would have gotten it in your Google group. Sorry, WhatsApp group.
Shit ain't gonna do nothing. It still pops up.
Now what you have to do is open it up and fill in your names.
Like default Windows Defender and Avast. But malware bytes.
Okay, now I will call. Is there anyone of team 1 present? Team 1?
Go down.
So it looks like no one of team 1 is present. Okay. Okay, let's do one thing. Each of you, one person from each team, just put your team number in the chat so that I can call you according to that. $15. Okay, so for now, let's start with team 4. Okay, so team 2 is there. So I'll call team 2. Team 2, unmute your mics and let's hear what you have to say.
Sir, I'm from team 2. Sorry, sir, but one of our members is joining in just 2 minutes. So can we wait? I mean, another team can start.
Okay. Team 3, are you ready?
Yes, sir, we are ready.
Okay, so you can begin.
Can we speak? Actually, we are two members. Can we speak together?
Yeah, you can speak together.
Okay. So, good evening. I am Shobit Das from Team 2, from Team 3. Our adjective is vigorous, noun is downtown, and verb is unfasten. And as we have thought, and this all thing converges to a single thought or word, that is logistics and transport. So we have come to a very unique idea, and that is we will create a transport system that will help us in mining in asteroids. So we will at first create a vigorous base in the moon, which will connect the path from asteroids to Earth. And in the word downtown, here in Earth, we live all along, and we can specify the Earth as a downtown, and unfasten is Anubhav, can you please?
Basically, can I continue? Hello?
Yes, sure.
Yes. So our plan is to create an intergalactic mining exploration on asteroids, because scientists estimate that asteroids contain trillions of material which can be extracted and then thus be used. So our plan is to basically downtown means the commercial hub. So we try to make Earth our commercial hub, and unfasten means to send back or collect. So basically we are sending back the goods to moon, which will be our preliminary base from which all the materials which will be mined from the asteroids will be kept in the moon as a goods base. From there, it will be ported to Earth, which is our downtown. So this is our idea of mining exploration in asteroids to get maximum amount of resources, because in the recent years we have seen there is a constant dearth of oil which is bound to get reduced. So we have to take a new idea and go for exploration in space. So this idea is basically to do transportation and mining of oil and other materials such as gold, diamond, from the asteroids which are freely available to the Earth, which is our downtown, which will be done by a vigorous set of goods collection base in the moon. Did I get my idea? Hello?
And we are adding one more point to this idea, is that as we will send spacecraft and other gadgets into the terrestrial bodies, we can also use those things as the means of space dumping. As Earth is becoming very much concentrated with waste materials, we can do space dumping through those things. So we are just converging these two ideas into a single thing.
Okay, so that was a good concept. And you were team 3, right?
Yes, team 3.
Okay, so all of you open the Google Forms, and in team 3 you will see there are 4 categories for marking, and in which you can mark from 5 to 10. So each of you for now fill in the scores for team 3.
Thank you.
Okay, now team 2, are you ready now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so team 2, you can now begin.
Good evening, everyone, and we are from team 2, and our 3 words were like transport, loveliness, and money. So we have thought of something from future, that is the energy vehicle. What is energy vehicle? We have energy in our environment, and we travel from one place to another using the conventional energy, like we burn diesel and things like that. Now it's time to change. We can accumulate the energy that is surrounding us in any form and form a vehicle which will be smooth enough to travel in the speed of Mach 10 without any problem, and it will not need any external fuel. Like we can use the energy in the surrounding from the Earth itself. It is the energy source, and all the planets are having an energy field. So we will utilize the field. We will travel in the speed of Mach 10, which is crazy speed, with great comfort, as well as we will provide a luxury thing, that is the push. It will be like fully automated, and you just have to think of the place and you are there at a very second. Like you can travel the whole Earth in a 5 to 10 hours, like complete the tour. So it is very lovely. You can travel through if there are highways in today's days, then there will be wormholes in the future, so that we can just enter through the wormhole and exit in another, like what is seen in the sci-fi thing. And you are getting this at your own place, and you can have installed. It is there, or it is just like a coin. You are tossing a coin and getting on it, and this is what we have planned. And it's the energy vehicle concept that we have come up with, sir.
Okay, that's excellent. And now everyone, you can score team 2. Next,
sir, I have one doubt.
Okay.
Sir, every member of the team should give points to team 2 or team 3, or only one member from each team?
No, every single one of you has to give scores. Every single person in each team.
Okay.
Yeah. So team 2 is done and team 3 is done. So now I will call team 4. Team 4.
Hello, sir. Am I audible and visible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Am I visible? What's my?
Yeah, you are now.
Okay, sir. So our team has thought of the product Revo Brain. So this is a brain. Sorry about that. This is a brain chip which will be inserted into a brain, and it has numerous infinite number of possibilities. Like whatever possibility you can think of, it has. So I would like to first include all the words which are given, such as adjective was given addictive, noun was given wall, and the verb was given crash. So by connecting all these three, I can say these brain chips, or revo brain as I like to call it. By inserting our brain, we can crush the barriers in our brain, such as body problems, such as or blockages in our brain, which is very difficult to treat medically, or what do you say, by humans. So by brain chips, we can easily treat all of these blockages, and we can easily gain access to our brain and the whole human body. And not only just our body, we can be able to have an internet of minds, as yes, internet of minds or internet of brains. We can connect to each other, every person in our neighborhood. Also, there is many other infinite possibilities, not thinkable now, but in future there'll be infinite number of possibilities, such as being able to access the powers of our brain, the infinite possibilities, powers of our brain, to remember the stuff we just learned, or to know the stuff, or to control the stuff which is present in our surroundings, like suppose lights, lights, computers, anything. Just by a thought of our brain, we can control all of these stuff easily using our brain chips. So this brain chip can be very, very useful in the future and even presently, if possible. And this has no, what do you say, limitation. Like you just need to insert your brain, and thus it will, using the program and embedded in it, it can treat the person accordingly, and it will be available to all the people, and it will be helpful to our surroundings too. Yes, sir.
Okay, that was a nice idea in the league of Neuralink, right?
Yes, sir. Neurotransmission and neurolinking, it's very, very much, I guess, very, very useful, as we see in the present world, as we see in the pandemic situation. We are not able to, some like old people, they have eyes problem, they have body problems, they are very weak, they can't see properly. So the brain chips will be able to help them by increasing their vision, or helping their body survive or fight the diseases which we humans haven't, which our body cells haven't learned ourselves. So by supplying, and we don't need like a vaccine to every time insert it. Our brain itself is enough capable to produce the cells which are needed for the fighting any kind of viruses or diseases, you can name it.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So now you can score team 5. Sorry, that was team 4. You can score team 4, and I would like to call team 5.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir. I'm from team 5. Good morning, sir. Okay, sir. The 3 words which were given to us was the first one, the old, second one, respect, and third was the past. Okay, the something which I want to tell about is the mass energy equation. We haven't something idea about we have listened that Newton was something successful for researching into the converting the mass into the energy, a light energy, but he was unable to find that energy into the mass of the particles. But we have something thought about the creating some researching the things from which we are, if we are able to convert the energy into the mass, then it will be very easy and very practical to move one place to another in very few. Of course, it is something like a hypothetical which is not possible, but we can something think about, and we also can search it. That's only I want to say, sir.
Anything more?
No, sir. That's the only idea. Also, I have something in past few. I have also researched for this, but did not get any idea. So also, I think it can be researched in future or anything.
Okay. Yes. So everyone, you can now score team 5. And is team 6 present?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can now speak.
So I'm representing Team 6, and the words we were given were tidy, pollution, and sack. So the thing that we came up with was biodegradable plastics, or the product that was given in the pitch. That is biodegradable plastics. So that is kind of a special kind of plastics that is acted upon by special bacteria and decompose on its in itself. And there are on the plastic there are small microscopic sacs with the bacterias when there are bacterias in them. So it would release the bacteria on the thing that is there, and it helps to decompose within 5 days. And so we all know that the consumption of plastic that we do, though plastics are very valuable, but still that is causing a lot of environmental consequences. So out of this, we came up with this product. Thank you, sir. That's all.
Okay, so that's great. Dealing with pollution. So you all can now score Team 6. And I would like to call Team 7. Is Team 7 present?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I hope I'm audible.
Yeah, you are audible.
Sir, I'm Rohit Nayan Mishra from Team 7. Good evening. So the words that we've given, the adjective is terrible, the noun is fair, and the verb is shop. What is the most terrible thing that you've ever felt? I think each one of us has different answers, but in this generation, we know that one thing that a lot of us feel, and it's not very comfortable for us to talk about because of the stereotyping, and also people don't really know how to deal with it, is mental health. So we decided to do something about that. We decided to build a chain of online and offline shopping website and stores called terryshop.com. So what Terryshop will do is bring everything minutely related to mental health under one roof. What do I mean by that? We'll have a lot of things. I like to pass this on to my teammate Kiran Moy he'll tell you what products we'll be selling at Terryshop.
Yes, the idea of Terryshop is to bring everything related to mental health under one roof, so that as mental health is not a very discussed topic, or the solution is not easily available in our society. So in our shops, we will try to available most of the things, including fidget spinner, messengers, fidget cubes, Sona, Pip, and then stress balls, and then balls for air, and those every related stuff, the messengers,
Bioware, terrarium, soothing gadgets, massaging machines.
Yes, exactly. And we will also try to provide the counselor as well at under the same roof, so that
so what do we mean by that? If you need a counselor, online or offline, you could book an appointment with us, and we'll try to get them to you as soon as possible. Online and offline, in these times of pandemic, I know a lot of people prefer to do a lot of things online. We'll get them to you as soon as possible. We'll also be open to a lot of feedback, because that is very important for a company that already talks about mental health. So we'll be open to anything that anyone has to say, and new products that we can possibly add. And we'll also have books on mental health. We'll have videos, CDs, or we also have that virtual clouds where you can log in. We'll have a social network of sorts where people can connect, people can talk to each other. We'll have a question answer, sort of a doubt counter, as we like to call it, where people can put their questions. There will be a lot of FAQs that people can answer. Our members also get to do webinars or seminars with various counselors, with various psychiatrists to whom they can talk.
Out of trauma.
Yes.
The people who has passed that situation, they can help the other peoples as well. And yes, that was pretty much our idea.
Yeah, and it'll also be a group discussion where people can discuss among themselves. That is the point of building a social media for mentally what shall I say, mentally unhealthy people, traumatized people, yeah, or people who are not the fittest when it comes to mental health. Because let's be honest, the social media we have as of now, Twitter, Facebook, it can only make you mentally unhealthier and not really healthier. It's a place which tells you to, it's that it's okay to be a bully. So a different site where people who understand the problems they face and are sensitive about the problems others will face is the need of the hour.
And yes, Steady Shop will be scattered among almost the cities so that it becomes accessible to every person's. It will be online as well.
That is excellent.
That's pretty much my idea, sir.
So that is a really good idea. Social entrepreneurship is a often neglected avenue of entrepreneurship.
Thank you, sir.
That's good.
Thank you.
Okay, so you can now score team 7.
Excuse me, sir. Can't we ask questions for related if some related to?
Yeah, I would suggest that you use the chat to ask questions. Okay. And
Okay.
yeah. Okay. Okay, so you can now score team 7. And I would like to call team 8.
Yes, sir, we are ready. So may I begin?
Yeah, you may begin.
Okay, so sir, we were given 3 words. It was full, pine, full, pine, and bat. So we decided, like, as a student organization with less resources, what can we plan that we can start implementing right now? And we came up with the idea that there are a lot of people who are pining over their losses or their disabilities. And we can be like a full-fledged non-profit organization that organizes small tournaments or small social events that can help them bat off their negative odds that they're facing in life and help them move forward in their life. Like, there are a lot of people who want to get involved in sports but are physically challenged. We can organize a tournament for them. There are a lot of single mothers and widows who want to be financially independent. We can form a cooperative for them, help them, and maybe arrange for something where they can learn a certain new skill like tailoring or embroidering, and then help them set up a cooperative for themselves so that they can be financially independent for themselves. As they say, like, teach a man to fish and he will have food for his life. So we planned on making something of this social body composing of a group of students who are willing to sacrifice some of their time for the greater good, if you will. So we had a very simple plan and nothing to elaborate, but I think it can have a good impact on the society, even if it's a small scale. And we can start implementing it right away because it does not need a lot of investing or a lot of other help from people. It can be completely independent and self-run. So yes, that was our pitch.
Okay, that's
So, sir, has decided to make a full-fledged NGO for disabled people who are pinning over their loss. So our NGO will motivate those people with the chance to do something in their life, like they take a bat and step forward in their life to do something which they want.
okay. That's great. You were team 8, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So all of you can now score team 8. And I would just like to remind you that all of you who are participating should fill this form, the scoring one. Okay. Okay, so I will now call team 9.
So good evening, everyone. I am Pragya Chakraborty from Team 9. And our 3 words were pretty, tramp, and war. Now, I live in a very small town. And
Yes, sir.
Pardon? So anyway, I live in a very small town. And a few weeks ago, I really wanted to have pizza. And it was around like 12 or 1 at night. And the thing is, our town doesn't have any pizza outlets or anything which delivers at that time. We don't actually have a pizza outlet even. So, and making a pizza in, say, the pressure cooker or something is really cumbersome. So what I needed was an oven, but making an investment into the oven would be a really big investment because I don't know when I would be using that ever again. And I'm sure that this is not a personal thing. I'm sure that a lot of us have been in situations where we needed something for only a certain period of time and not for the entire, like, make an actual investment in it. For example, if you want to impress someone, say you need a bike, but you don't want to buy a bike. You just need to impress someone. So you need it for, say, an hour or so. So how cool would it be if you could, borrow it from someone? So what our app does, our app Cloud9, what it does is you can list your products and then someone can borrow it at any time that they need. Tramp services means essentially shipments which would deliver at any time of the day, irrespective of the route. And our services would be available 24/7. So you may need something, say at 2 in the night or 6 in the morning, you would get it. And say after a certain period of time, for example, a month or so, you have listed your product, but no one wants to borrow it. And then what we would do is we would, make an offer. Do you want to sell the product to us? And if they do, then we will improve the product, beautify the product, and then we would sell it to other customers. And that is how we hope to create a service that would work on the basis of lending and borrowing. And that is our business idea. Thank you.
Okay. That was an excellent take on the words you were given. And okay, so all of you can now score team 9.
Thank you.
Team 10, is team 10 here? Okay, so I think team 10 is not here. Team 11? Is team 11 here? Okay, so let's move on. Team 12.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's your turn now.
Yes, sir. So I am Vijay Kumar sir, and we are team 12, and our words were adjective is childlike, noun was thumb, and verb was grease. So with these 3 words, we came with a very not so fantastic plan, but a very simple plan to sell a product with the name thumb, which is like which is an acronym for toilet human based liquid, and it's just a non-Newtonian fluid that we are going to sell for children and adults to play with it. It's a non-Newtonian fluid that can be used as a bulletproof that can be used in bulletproof vests, and it can also be used in parks and free spaces whenever required, and that's it.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so you all can now score team 12. And I would like to call now team 13.
Hello, sir. Good evening. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So good evening, everyone. So I am Anirban Mukherjee from team 13, and we were given the words divergent, sleep, and walk. So there could be a lot of possibilities with this word, but what we came up with was like our generation is kind of a dreamy one, right? Like everyone is like lost in the world of dreams and stuff. There are many people who suffer the disease of sleepwalking. Okay, so we came up with a solution for them Like, and sleepwalking is such a disease that it can cause dangerous accidents as well. So we came up with a product called the Dream Walker. So what it is basically, like, imagine like you would be transferred into your world of dreams. Okay, you will be taken into that world, and you will be able to see your own world in your own dreams. So that will be so amazing, right? Like, you will be able to view entirely your world as the way you want to be, which is not possible practically in this that you cannot view the world in their own way, right? But in your dreams you can. But imagine if the world that you are seeing now, that you can see it in your dreams. So what we came up with was the Dream Walker, and this is basically a contact lens, and that will be help you to map your way through your dream. Okay, this will be effective in such a number of ways that it can reduce the mental stress and the dangers of the sleepwalking. I would like to call upon my teammate Abhinav to take over from here. Abhinav, are you there? Hello, Abhinav?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm audible.
Yes. Take over from here, the contact lens.
Actually, I'm from Team 13. So my friend Anirban got somehow a bit out of context. This was not our plan actually. So what we came up with, we named it as Dreamwalker, And today, in this world of augmented reality, where we are touching the brim of artificial reality, you have seen the iPhone 12 Pro Max, the pinpointed camera that's new introduced in infrared. Actually, it was tried by Asus a decade ago, almost. But the latency was, huge, and it was not that seamless that Apple is providing. So what we are doing is that we are introducing a glass type of, eyeglasses that is built up with that sort of true visual reality cameras, infrared sensors. When in the morning, when you'll walk to your work, or you'll go somewhere, you are wearing it, then it will accumulate data from all sorts of things, like around you, everything. It will scan, the rays will go there and they will come back, and they will get the clear picture of what's exactly happening around you. For example, let's take you get up in the morning, you got your work, you got there, and then you came back home. So it will map all the things around you. I know it's the brim of thing we are dreaming, because you will need tons of petabytes of data to store that thing in that glasses itself. And the next feature of it is that it will connect with the similar type of glasses from all around its surrounding. Like when you bought it and your neighbor bought it, so you both will be connected. For example, your neighbor goes to work in the morning down south, and you go to north, So if there is something, for example, you need to go to, no, sorry. For example, you and your neighbor, you both go to work together, okay? So let this happen. You go to work and you came back home in the afternoon. You and your neighbor get to work and he came back home in the evening. When you get to work, there was nothing on the road. I mean, there was no construction going on, nothing. When a neighbor came back home, you came back home, then still there was nothing. Your neighbor came back home, but there was a construction going on in the middle of road. So at night, when you sleep, here I'm using the word sleep, when you sleep, it will refresh itself. For example, Netflix uses the same algorithm every night to refresh the data, to back the data every month. So it will refresh itself. I mean, the next day it will inform you. It will inform you before, when you get ready for your work, to not to take the path that you take on the previous day. So this is our exactly idea. It's all built up with artificial reality and augmented reality. So
okay. So team 13, this was team 13, and you can now give them scores. And yeah, I would like to say something. Please do not submit your forms right now. I can see who is submitting right now, and obviously since all of the participants are not yet done, that means that you have not judged fairly. So I will delete all those entries. So you will have to do it again. Yeah, and time limit. As of now, time limit, I am not really enforcing the time limit very strictly, because but yeah, you have to limit it within some reasonable time. And okay, so this was team 13. Is team 14 here? Team 14? Okay, I guess team 14 is not here. So I would like to call team 15.
Hello, everybody. Am I audible?
Yeah.
So I am Nishan Murarka and I'm representing group 15. So the words which I have been given are glib, adjustment, and head. So why do we fear to talk? Why we have a stage fright? Because we are underconfident on our communication skills, on our language, especially English. People fear to talk because they don't have that proper knowledge of that language. That's why even though they're having so many great ideas, they don't talk about it. So I have developed I'm having an idea to develop a device which is called which is a special microphone which will work on your AI, which will be fitted on your t-shirt, and then what you want to speak, like whatever the context you want to speak, it will get fetch the data from your mind, and the words which you are speaking, which are may not be correct, which are not the relevant words, it will automatically change those words to the relevant words. Like if I want to speak a sentence but I am using the wrong words, now though that microphone will correct those words and translate to the correct ones and present to the the speaker. So in that way the speaker will have a pure confidence to speak, and he or she won't be afraid to talk on stage. So even a glib speaker, like an insincere speaker, would have the full confidence, and he or she can speak properly, convey their ideas. So there won't be any problem of communication skills. So this idea works basically to remove or reduce the problem we face during communication.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay. Okay. Good. So you were team 15, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So all of you can now score team 15. And I would like to call, is team 16 here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So team 16, you can go now.
Hi, I'm Satvik, and my words are dry, farmer, enable. And I don't have a product to sell, but I have an idea to work on it. And I can simply say it as organic farming, which is one of the shortest thing in the India right now. Like farmers are facing so many problems nowadays, and people are also facing problems because of the fertilizers and pesticides used in the farming. And people are getting so many diseases because of the fertilizers, and so many people have infections also. And the farmers also facing when they are spraying the pesticides or fertilizers when they are do farming in some months. And the dry crops also is a main reason for farmers' deaths and suicides, etc. And my idea is like we can take some crops for farmers and we can give some subsidies, like how government gives subsidies. We can also give some subsidies by some sponsors, and we can make them to do organic farming. We can buy the crop which went under the organic farming, and for some good rate, which farmers can also be profitable, and we can sell the same organic farmed goods to another company or to outside consumers, B2B marketing or B2C marketing. We can do that thing. Then we can also earn some money, or we can also improve our company with this. And one more thing, if some crops dry, some crop plants are dried, we can take the crops and we can build some cold storages. Like this will we can store the products there in cold storages, and we can give some employment to the people in the village conditions. We can enable the cold storages to the local people who can govern their child in the village to study and work there. And that's it with me.
Okay. And that was good. And you were team 16, right? Okay. So you can now, all of you can now score team 16. And next, I will call team 17. Team 17?
Yes, sir. First of
Yeah.
all, good evening to everyone. We and our team member have searched on the given words, and our words are observant, foundation, and narrow. And finally, we have decided to focus on a very good sector, which is school and local school. These are local school and private school. They have a very big issue, and they are still not. They still don't have the solution for that. And what is the problem? They are not able to communicate online to students, and they are not able to communicate their parents, and even they are not able to see their business model in online or for payment or whatever be. And why they are not able to do that? Because any software teacher or any teacher who know very well software or any person, it takes too much charge from them, and even managing those is not very much affordable for this private school. So we took an opportunity, and based on that opportunity, we are going to provide a ecosystem for their online development. Means parents can pay their money from online, even if a student is doing mistake or whatever, we class teacher can complain them. Means totally fully online system, billing and whatever related to. And it is we are going to provide them app as well as website, not more than 1,000 rupees per month. It is of course less than a student fee or less than 2 student fees. And apart from that, we are also providing some benefit feature to them. We are providing them YouTube ads, Facebook ads, which they don't know, and still they spend too much amount for advertising, poster advertising or whatever this. So that's why I think it will be very much helpful for them. And it's of course any school teacher or any school person will like that, because we will give them a ecosystem. And Anurag will, our team member Anurag will say that what are the other features we are going to provide them. Anurag.
Yes. Just to follow on Sonu, I want to say that basically we are building a network of school, right? So we are coming up with a disruption model, because all the intermediaries, whether it is in the case of books, or say your ID card, or say your any school item, whether it is your dress or anything, we are coming with a model. Means we will be giving everything online. Just like if you go and buy your local things on Amazon or say Flipkart, we will be giving your every school things, means whatever is required for your school, whether it is school diary, school books, or school uniform, or say anything, we will be giving you. And we will have a network of schools. And means our model is just simple. Means we don't want intermediary to take a charge from you and just take their commission, right? So we will be doing that. And we are basically, and talking about this thing, last thing means narrow thing, we are just focusing on schools. No, our model is not to destroy anyone or not to harm anyone. Just we are focusing on schools and schools only. So yeah, that was it.
Okay, so that was a nice idea, vocal for local. And yeah, so you all can now score team 17, and I would like to call team 18. Is team 18 present? Team 18? I think they are not present. Team 19? Anyone from team 19? Okay, so looks like team 19 isn't there either. Team 20.
Yes.
So I am from
Good
team
evening,
19.
everyone.
So I am from team 19. Can you give me a minute? I'm facing some network issues. A minute, please.
Okay.
Team 20 can speak a while.
Okay.
I'm Kulin Kumar from Team 20. So we were given the words guests, compete, and damage. So as we saw in the lockdown period, in the pandemic period, that many local workers and laborers were affected. Their livelihood were affected very badly. And also the local artists and handicraft artists were also affected. So our team came up with an idea to support those local artists and to preserve our culture. So the idea is that we will make an app, a startup, and we will integrate every local artists who have who maybe who are physically damaged, who are physically handicapped. Their hand may be damaged, but they are talented in other things. They play instrument or they do some other handicraft work. So we will integrate them and in an app, and if there is any function in the locality or in the city, so they can be invited as a guest artist to perform there. And we can also organize exhibitions for the handicraft artists, and they will be supported by crowdfunding or donations. So through this their livelihood will be supported, and they will also get a chance to showcase their talent. We will give them a platform so that they can compete at a national level or international level if they have talent. So this was our idea.
Our
Okay.
idea was,
And
I'm Sushma
continue.
from Group 20. Actually, main intention of our idea was to help the people who are actually talented but they cannot come out of their home because of illness and their disorders. So by making an app, I think we can encourage them to compete with the present world, and earn their livelihood and be happy. So our app may not may not discourage anyone. It may help others. Thank you.
Okay, that's nice. Team 19, is your issue now resolved?
Yeah, may I speak?
Yeah, you can now speak. Yeah, and everyone scored Team 20.
Yeah, my words were royal, gate, and boost. So, what I have come up with is we know that 5% of the population have control over 80% of the resources of the world, all around the world. And what our product is not a gadget. Our product is not an app, not a website. Our product is an ideology, a thought, and it is my dream. We dream of building an economic system where we can boost every underprivilege. It will open a gate for freedom, for free knowledge. Like we know every underprivileged and every poor person dreams of living a royal life. But the economic system now we have divides between two, capitalism and communism. And till now we have seen that neither of them are guaranteeing them these basic freedom of life, neither freedom of knowledge. Like we know even knowledge has a cost nowadays. So our product is an economic system where every poor and every underprivileged can attain free knowledge and have and live their life with freedom. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, that was a very different concept, but good. Everyone, you can now score Team 19. And Team 1 was left, I think. Team 1?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can now take your turn.
Okay. So, hello everyone. We are team 1. Our words are naughty, which refers to complex, teeth, and box. So, basically, our product is basic, but can be a very, very, very useful if we work on it. So, the name of our product is Teeth of Flex Box. So, this is a box having a naughty chamber that we used to make artificial tooths in which we will also maintain it with DNA and calcium. It is a teeth to press box. So we implant these teeth to the needy ones. We know that teeth plays an important role in everyone's life. But what happens when you lose them? So what we want is that we make artificial teeth which is correct with the DNA of man, and with also contain calcium, etc., the real teeth have. So basically, it is not just an imagination. it can be a real thing if we work on it. So in that chamber, we will maintain the temperature, pressure, and chemical to maintain the freshness. So now, don't think it is only the imaginations. Believe me, it can be happen if we work on it. So I invite my other teammates to say something, and if you can ask us any question if you think that you have any doubt about it in the last. So I invite my other teammates to tell something.
So hello everyone, my name is Piyush and I am from Team 1. So the basic idea of this box is to make uh, make artificially teeth and to store whenever needed it, so that we could store and give it to the needy person.
I know it can be a little bit silly, but believe me, it is just basic, but can give you a huge margin when you use it.
This
So
was
we
our
are open
idea.
for your yeah, and we are open
If
for your
you have
questions.
any
If
doubt,
you you can ask.
yeah, thank you.
Okay. That was an innovative idea. Okay.
Yeah, I know that everyone do not listen that properly because our number was lost, but yeah, do that is all.
Okay. So is there anyone still left? Any team? I think everyone is done. I'll just tell you which teams have said. Team 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 19, and 20. So there are 4 teams which were not present, and the rest of the teams all have said their pitches. And I will now request all of you to fill in all the scores and submit.
Excuse me, can you repeat which teams didn't participate?
The teams which didn't participate were teams. Wait a minute. 10, 11, and 14, and 18.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So I'll just give you a couple minutes to all of you to submit. So I suppose all of you must have filled the form by now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if everyone has filled the form, we can now
Hello?
add. Hello. Yeah.
Sir, we are group 11, but only I am left. Group 11 once Ronak has some internet issue, and my one has some family issues. Like she's not well, she's sick. So
Okay.
can I say
But sir, I submitted the form and I don't remember the every idea of every team.
Yeah. Actually, that's the issue most submitted the form by now. So it will be difficult for.
Okay, is there any solutions?
What?
How can we submit our project in mail?
Okay, so what you can do is, okay, so just
Can you write and mail you just?
yeah, but the thing is, actually, everyone else was submitting. So okay, so you can just send me the idea, and I'll just put in a separate form for you, and yeah,
Thank you.
people can
Thank you so much.
vote on your idea too. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so okay, you all can now leave. We'll just tabulate the scores and give you the result by tomorrow. Okay. So this is it for today. Thank you. Thanks for attending.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can you send the email where I can
Thank
send
you.
you?
Yeah, I'll just put my mail in the chat.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We just need some time.